Humm, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today, I can't believe we are only 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. It seems insane because the season just started, but that's where we're at this year. And there's going to be a ton of teams in contention because of the expanded playoffs. Does this mean that there's going to be more activity at the trade deadline? Or because of the uncertainty around COVID-19 and that players are going to be moving from one clubhouse to another, there's going to have to be a period where they're not going to be able to play because they're going to have to be in quarantine, things like that. Is the trade deadline going to be dead? I don't know. There are teams playing great baseball like the Cubs who are historically very active during the trade deadline. They would love some help in that lineup. They would love some help in that bullpen so they can go try to win a championship this year. But like I said, COVID-19, it's crazy. Economics are jacked up. Teams don't have as much money, so it's going to be really interesting. However, all that said, there are players who definitely look like they could be on the move. So I'm going to talk about 10 guys today who I think very likely will be on the move. I'm going to talk about, at the end of the video, 5 Giants who I've heard their name and 2 of them who are going to be part of that 10. So make sure, especially if you're a Giants fan, stick around to the end of this video. Make sure you find out the Giants who could possibly be on the move, what I think about it. And also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're doing giveaways, including that Jackie Robinson jersey you see behind me. That is going somewhere on Jackie Robinson Day to one of you guys who wins the Jackie Robinson trivia contest that will be live on this channel. So make sure to hit that subscribe button. So let's jump into the list. We're going to go with 10 guys who could be on the move this year in Major League Baseball. We're starting with Kevin Pillar of the Boston Red Sox. Former San Francisco Giant, was not tendered a contract in the offseason, ended up signing with Boston. He was one of the brightest spots on that 2019 Giants team, both offensively and defensively, and he has gotten off to a great start in 2020 with the Red Sox. He's hitting .313 with 9 RBI, 2 bombs, and 67 at-bats. He's already got a .5 WAR through just 18 games, and with that sparkling defense, with that clutch bat, he's hitting .455 with runners in scoring position. Pillar could definitely be a valuable piece for some team out there, possibly off the bench, possibly in the lineup as a corner outfielder, maybe even a center fielder. There are lots of teams with lots of needs in the outfield, so Kevin Pillar could be on the move this season, especially with the Red Sox falling in the standings and not having the greatest season so far. Next up, we have Jacoby Jones of the Tigers. Detroit was off to a great start, but they've started to struggle, especially at home. They've fallen to 4th in the AL Central, but Jacoby Jones is hitting .315 with 5 bombs and just 54 at-bats. He's a guy with a .217 career average. Most teams probably realize he's overperforming right now. He typically strikes out a lot. Decent speed, decent defense. He used to have really good defense, but he's kind of struggled here in the past couple years. But if the Tigers want to take advantage of that hot start that he's had, they might want to consider going ahead and calling teams up about Jacoby, seeing if there's some needs out there. Somebody would love to have him, especially if some team thinks, hey, this guy's really put it together and they think he's going to continue to hit well. They might offer some prospects to the Tigers. So look for Jacoby Jones to be on the move, possibly from the Detroit Tigers. Next up, a guy who I thought his career was over, but it's not. It is Greg Holland. He's back with the Royals after a decent season with the Diamondbacks in 2019, but he's really been up and down since his heyday with the Royals back when they won back-to-back AL championships in 14 and 15. They won a ring in 2015. However, since then, Greg Holland has kind of fallen off. Well, not this year. He is back. And in 11 innings this year, he's already got 10 strikeouts, 3.09 ERA. I mean, he's not exactly tearing it up, but he is looking so much better than he has. His slider is looking great. He could be a really nice veteran arm for some team that needs some bullpen help. So look for a possibility there. The Royals need to continue to improve their system and get back to the winning team that they were a few years ago. Royals don't want to go into another huge 20, 30-year slump. So they are looking for youth right now. They're looking to upgrade, and they may have someone on their hands that they can move and get some nice prospects in return. So Greg Holland is a possibility. And then I have 2 Texas Rangers. The first is Lance Lynn. He has dealt in 2020. In his first 5 starts, he's 3-0 with a league-leading 1.11 ERA. In 32 innings pitched, he has given up a mere 12 hits and has 36 strikeouts. And if Texas falls out of the playoff race, which is going to be tough since there's 16 of 30 teams getting in, but look for Lynn to be on the trading block. He's 33. He's owed $8 million next year. And if the Rangers are interested in bringing some super valuable prospects over, there are going to be a lot of teams that would love to have Lance Lynn in that rotation. But if the Rangers don't want to move someone who's pitching really well, they could try to move someone who's not pitching so well, but has shown that he can pitch well, and he has some decent advanced stats, and he will eat up innings, and that's Mike Minor. 0-3 on the year with a 5.49 ERA, but like I said, some of the advanced stats decent. He's got a FIP of 3.75. He had a great 2019. His contract expires after the year, so if the Rangers want to get what they can for Minor, assuming they themselves fall out, that is a possibility. And right now the Rangers are 10-10, so they're definitely still in it at 500. But the Rangers, if they start to lose, if they go on a little losing streak over the next couple weeks, Mike Minor's a possibility as well. And next up, we're going to jump into the NL West. The Arizona Diamondbacks have started to heat up lately. They are 500 on the year, meaning they could slip into those playoffs. But if they should falter, one guy who could be on the trading block is Robbie Ray. He was 12-8 last year with a 4.34 ERA, striking out a ridiculous
An insane 235 batters in just 174 innings.
This year, however, he has struggled with command. He has walked 20 and 22. His ERA has ballooned to 8.59. He is set to become a free agent after the season, and with the ability to strike out batters and limit hard contact, there are definitely going to be some teams that would like to have Robbie Ray. They'd like to work with him. They'd like to see what they can do with him because they know that this guy is nasty and filthy. And when he's on, he could be a huge piece in a rotation. So look for the Diamondbacks to go ahead and try to woo some teams to send them some prospects for Robbie Ray at the trade deadline. And now to Houston, the Astros, they got to start thinking about their future. After losing their first and second round draft picks this year, their farm system is looking increasingly frail. George Springer is going to be a free agent at the end of the year, and if he is not traded, he will more than likely be on the move. Because for one, the Astros probably won't be able to afford him, and for two, I would guess that George Springer is ready to move on from the Astros, get away from that reputation of the 2017 team and scandal and all of that. Just a guess, maybe he doesn't care, maybe he wants to stay in Houston. I'm just saying, I would venture to guess that Springer's going to be somewhere else next year. So if the Astros want to start to get some players in that system and start to improve their future, they need to go ahead and think about dealing someone like Springer. So I got George Springer next on the list. And I think they could probably get more for Springer by trading him now instead of waiting for him to sign elsewhere and then they get that compensation pick. But I think they can actually get more now if they trade someone like Springer, because there's going to be a lot of teams who would love to have Springer, who will think this is the guy we need to make this push into October and win a World Series. So look for Springer to possibly be on the move. And another reliever who has stepped it up this year after looking like his career was pretty much done, and that's Trevor Rosenthal. He has had a resurgence to start the 2020 season with the Royals, 13 strikeouts in 10 innings and an ERA under 1. It's a small sample, but the former Cardinals reliever looked like he was on fumes after Tommy John surgery. He got lit up last year with the Nats. He got lit up with the Tigers. Both let him go. He had no idea where the ball was going, and it was even a surprise when the Royals signed him to a minor league deal. But now, 2 weeks from the deadline, the Royals may have a trade chip on their hands. And if it's not going to be Greg Holland who they move, they may want to move Trevor Rosenthal. So they have two relievers who could bring back some good prospects, and they can move either or both. So look for Trevor Rosenthal to be on the trading block as well. And those are 8 guys who may move apart from the Giants. Now let's talk about the Giants. There are several names who have been rumored to possibly be on the move this year. Someone is going to be on the move. Someone's gone, and we're going to get some prospects. It's happening. Giants are playing terrible. They got swept by the A's in heartbreaking fashion, blowing 2 games. They had a terrible road trip. It's becoming ever more clear the Giants are not winning much this year. I mean, I'm sorry. I want them to get in the playoffs, but I don't think it's happening. The Giants need to think about even improving that prospect pool even more in the minor leagues. And guys who I've heard mentioned include Johnny Cueto. His name has been mentioned, but because of that contract, I don't think he's going to be moved. Mike Yastrzemski, someone who's also been mentioned. We're talking about a guy who could be traded for some super prospects. Imagine what we could get for a guy like Yastrzemski. who has shown himself to be not only an everyday big leaguer, but an all-star caliber player, if not a flat-out superstar. And the Giants have him under team control through at least 2025, but that's why I'd be surprised if they moved Yaz. I mean, he could be a huge and amazing complement to guys like Joey Bart and Hunter Bishop over the next couple years. Unless the front office really thinks that Yaz is just going to fall off a cliff in the next couple years, then you might want to hang on to someone like that because he really is amazing. The only reason to move him is because of his age. If they think he's about to just, like I said, he's going to really decline in performance like really quick, then you might want to move him. But I hope they don't, because I think that he's still going to be fine for the next couple years and we could really use Yaz in that lineup, but it also depends on what we get offered. So I think that Yaz is not going anywhere. I think he's going to stay right here. I've also heard Alex Dickerson's name thrown around as a possible trade chip, but he's not that great defensively. He's a little bit injury prone, and I don't even think they're going to get enough to warrant a trade of Dickerson. So I see Dick staying put. But one man who could legitimately be on the move is the man, the myth, the legend, Donovan freaking Solano, aka Donnie Barrels. He is hitting over 400 on the year. He had an 18-game hitting streak before he went hitless yesterday. He is going to be 33 next season. That is why I think he's even older than Yaz. The Giants may be able to obtain some really nice prospects. This is a move that could make baseball sense. Even if he's not a 400 hitter and the next Ted Williams, he's still awesome. He hit 330 last year and over 200 at bats. This dude flat out hits. He has more than proven it. More than proven it. It's not a fluke. The dude can straight up rake, and there are going to be teams that will offer prospects for Donnie Barrels. As a fan, I don't want to see him go because I have been a huge supporter of this guy for a long time. But I'm not talking as a fan. I'm talking as what could legitimately happen. And absolutely, I think that Donnie Barrels has to be number 9 on my list here today of the top 10 guys who are most likely to move. And Donnie Barrels, sadly, very well could be on the move. But an even stronger possibility is Kevin Gausman, who finishes off my list. His velocity is up. He is hitting his spots. He is fooling batters consistently with that nasty splitter, occasional slider. In over 25 innings, he's walked only 5. He's struck out 34 freaking batters. He has a 3.1 FIP. And if the lineup actually gave him some run support, he'd probably have a much better record than 0-1. That record you could throw out the window. It is meaningless. This dude has been awesome for the Giants. What a great signing. I wish that he had more around him and that we could actually use Kevin Gausman this year to make a playoff push, but it's not looking likely. So I think that Kevin Gausman will be on the move. I think he will be wearing a different uniform next month. Don't want it to happen necessarily, but if we can get some really good prospects, then I will completely understand and I'll be happy about it. But yeah, Kevin Gausman, definitely I see him as probably the biggest trade chip and the most likely guy to be on the move. Even though, yeah, someone like Cueto could move, teams don't want to take on that contract. I talked about Yaz. I don't think they have the guts to trade Yaz, but we'll see, maybe. But yeah, definitely Solano and Gausman, two guys who I think very likely could be on the move, and it's hard to come to grips with that, but that's where we're at there with the Giants. So there you have it, 10 players who could legitimately be on the move this year, including a couple of Giants. Let me know your thoughts down below of these names. I'm sure I missed plenty. There are probably 30, 40, 50 guys who could be on the move this year. You never know who it's going to be. It could be a surprise. It could be a Giant that I didn't even mention who gets moved. We have no freaking idea. Obviously, guys like Brandon Belt and Brandon Crawford, I didn't really mention. I just don't think that teams are going to offer much for them. So I think that we're just trying to finish out their contracts and not re-sign them. I think that's where we're at with some of these other veterans. But that's where we're at right now, guys. Please hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And please let me know in the comments what you think about this video and about these possible trade chips across baseball. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day. Go check out HummBabyBaseball.com. And we're going to talk to you real soon. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and get some of these jerseys I'll be giving away jerseys, giving away bobbleheads, giving away baseball cards, giving away everything I could think of. And the second place winner in that competition, by the way, is going to get a digital copy of the movie 42. So a fantastic film about Jackie Robinson. So make sure you study up for that live stream because we're going to be giving away some cool Jackie Robinson stuff that day. See ya! When the Giants come to town.